Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. We're going to say for today's video. Oddly, I'm filming this on a Friday, and it's a Friday after the weekend that I'm recapping. I've just been so busy since the guys were here, and I was like immediately out of town doing work and stuff. So just got back to Albany and thought, you know what, that was such a fun weekend. I think some people might get a kick out of hearing about it. It involves other beer tubers. Well, let's film a video. I probably put the picture of us at Wayward Lane as the thumbnail. So you're probably getting a gist of some of the people I saw, just some of the people. And if you watched the review of this 2019 Bourbon County wheat wine, the one that was aged in larceny barrels, you already know the other person that I'm not yet mentioning that we hung out with. So what had happened was Sean and Mike from Nerd Sense reached out. And I think initially they said, hey, do you want to, we'll come out to Albany. We can go see Fantastic Four together. I think that's what happened originally. This was a while ago. And then for someone, it didn't work out. I think Sean. And then they said, how about Superman? We'll just come out for Superman. We'll make a weekend of it. I said, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's do that. So we're hashing out a plan. And no spoilers. I hate spoilers. The movie's been out a couple weeks or a couple weekends at the point of me recording this and whenever I post it. But just so you know, no spoilers. So they do end up coming out. They get here. I immediately take them to Delaware Supply, which is just a local amazing place. We had they had 2 beers each. I think I had one. Yeah, I had one. And they just, if you know anything about Delaware Supply, it's like this hidden gem in Albany, and they just get they have a relatively small tap list, and it's always amazing. It's always perfectly curated. They basically have one of each style, it feels like. And they do a good job, typically lower ABV beers, some domestic, some imports and stuff. When I say domestics, I mean like U.S. craft beer. I don't mean like Bud or anything. And then we came back. Mike had brought this. We split a bottle of this, and then I think that was before the movie. Then we went to the movie. We all liked it. Actually, I think across the board we all said it's a strong 8 out of 10. We grabbed Blaze Pizza. Just if you guys have ever been to a Blaze Pizza, you can just it's like Chipotle or Subway, but for pizza you can pick your toppings and stuff. So it's just easy to make everyone happy. What exactly do you want? Get your own pizza. So we did that. Came home, hung out with my wife a little bit outside in Cooper, and then that was Friday. So what had happened was I was talking to Keith. We had done a review together. We were just chit-chatting a little bit afterward. We were doing one on over the internet, not in person. And I had mentioned that these guys were coming up. And then Keith reached out. He said, well, I didn't invite a bunch of beer tubers because it was just those guys coming out to see Superman, which is such a specifically us thing. I'm not saying some of the other guys wouldn't have wanted to necessarily do that. But they were staying at the house, and it's I didn't want a ton of people here too. But anyway, so Keith reached out. He goes, well, I was going to actually mail out beer to you guys. It'd be easier for me just to drop it off and head back. And he was like, I didn't realize this. In my mind, I invited him. I was like, yeah, just come up. That'd be awesome. And then in his mind, it wasn't a formal invite. And he's like, I don't want to invite myself. So nothing was said beyond that. And then I reached out to him, however much time had passed. I said, hey, I have a couch, or I might have an air mattress. I forget if one of the girls borrowed it and hasn't returned it. He's like, oh, I was trying not to invite myself. I was just going to come up and drop off beer. I'm like, no, this is an official invite. Come up Saturday, because again, we were seeing Superman on Friday. We'll hang out Saturday, sleep over, and hang out and then leave Sunday. And he's like, okay. So he comes up, and so you'll be seeing me review some beers that he gave me, and I don't know how many collabs we'll do or whatever, but you'll be seeing beers that Keith provided. And that morning was kind of lazy. Then Keith got here, and I think the first thing we did, we went out to Wayward Lane, which is a brewery I've only had one beer from. It was a wheat wine, interestingly enough, because this is a wheat wine in a glass, not theirs. And I've had some collabs that Fidens did with Wayward, but I haven't had I've only had one proper Wayward beer, and people are raving about them. They've won best brewery in New York at least one time. I know locally people rave about them. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere. They're pretty close to where I work, but except on Fridays they don't open early enough for me to stop in after work. I have to kill hours of time, and I don't want to do that. I want to just get home. Especially with Cooper, I have to go home. So it just has eluded me to be able to go there. So I said we could either go up north and like, they have plenty of treehouse locations, Sean and Mike, where they are. But I'm like, if you want to like check off a new treehouse location, we could go up that way, or you could go to Wayward. I sent them the list of brews on tap, and they're like, let's go to Wayward. So when Keith got here, the four of us went down there. Awesome brewery, really cool. It's on an old hop farm. They do bees, so they have like their own honey and stuff. Awesome beers. They do run the whole gamut. I had a 3%. It's like Grodeski, something like that. It's like a slightly smoked beer. They had a rice lager. I'm trying to think of some stuff with Uzu. They had a Vienna style lager. I think that was a different one. They had a nice fruited sour. But like they'll make big things like barrel aged stouts and barley wines too. Or wheat wine, like I said before. They had I think they had like a spontaneous fermented saison or something in bottles. Just like really cool, awesome brewery. A lot of different styles, which I always respect, and doing them well. We were all impressed. All four of us were impressed with the beers we had. I had one, and I did 2 small pours. Both what I had was good, and then they had 2 or 3. They had side pulls, like all that stuff. I mean, it was awesome. I cannot recommend Wayward Lanes enough. Awesome in Schoharie, New York. Anyway, so then we came back to Albany, and we didn't go to Delaware Supply. We came back to my house for just a little bit. My daughter was here watching Cooper, which was super helpful. Shout out Sela. I'm sure you're not watching this. And then my youngest daughter, Shayna, and my wife went to the outlet. So Sela was here with Cooper. When they left, then we headed downtown. I mean, that's when we went to Wayward. But anyway, we headed down to like the warehouse district where Fidens, Nine Pin, Cidery, Druthers, Albany Distilling Company, like a bunch of like really cool spots are down there. So we started at Wolf's Beer Garden. Think like German style beer garden. Football is typically on. A lot of German beers, not just German beers. They'll have some local beers, some craft beer, like Guinness, but they do have a lot of German beers. It's a cool spot. They have a few locations, at least 2 in this area, 1 in Syracuse. Then we went over to Fidens. So when we were at Wolf's Beer Garden, we're like, hey, we should reach out to Jordan. He lives around here somewhere in Albany. And he's got such a long name, I might be misremembering it. Something to the effect of Keep It Funky Beer and Dank Reviews. So he headed out, met us at Fidens. I had been there a few days before. My friend Kevin was in town before Sean and Mike came out. So went to Fidens, and they only had like half the taps going. I'm not going to talk too much about Fidens. But they did have more beer on draft when we went Saturday, so that was good. Basically, everyone did hazies, if I think about it. No, because Jordan got like one of those like new school West Coast IPAs. But I think the other 4 of us got hazies. I know I had Teacher's Pet's, like my favorite hazy pale ale. And then Mike and Keith did side pulls of Orchid, if I remember correctly, which I tried one. It was really amazing what the side, like I've never had a hazy, I think it's a double IPA, on a side pull before, and it seemed kind of ludicrous to me, if I'm being honest. It was really cool, and I've had that beer enough to know it was different as well, but like, I'm not saying I always want it that way now, but like, it was really cool and delicious that way. We only stayed for one there. I know Mike and Sean, about halfway through their beers, switched. They don't drink haze as much anymore, so they switched beers, which was a good move for them. And then we're like, we could go back to Wolf's. We were really enjoying that. No one seemed to want hard cider in the moment, so we didn't go over to Nine Pin. But like, I don't know how many like cideries there are, so I do always throw that out as an option when people are in town. We didn't go up to the Albany Distilling Company, but that place is awesome. So we ended up half a mile away. It used to be C.H. Evans Brewery. But Common Roots, who already has, I think, 2 other locations, bought them or bought the building or whatever. And they have a really nice, kind of like Wayward, they have a really nice variety of beers. Huge space, really cool space. It used to be a pump. It's right by the Hudson River. It used to be a pump station. and they have like these big cranes still that are visible in there. Like, obviously very industrial looking. And Common Roots makes good beer for sure. Good to really good. A couple of them even great, I would say. And again, good variety. And they had at least one C.H. Evans recipe on draft, which was super cool to see. Maybe those cans. They had like, when you looked at their menu, they had drafts and they had cans that they would pour out of. You can do flights there. We didn't do flights. We just got proper beers. And that was a pretty big hit. People, I looked at Jordan at Fidens. I said, all right, I need some local help. I have an idea in my head, but like, where do you think the next place should be? And I was already thinking Common Roots, and he goes, Common Roots. I said, okay, that's what I was thinking. Let's take the half-mile walk. So we walked over, beat the rain, which was nice. Good fellowship, good hanging out, lots of laughs, just joking around, telling stories, talking about the beers. It was just like a really good hangout session, And then we said goodbye to Jordan. We came back to my house. We did a review down here that'll be on the Nerd Sense channel. It's actually a brewery just to bring up another beer tuber. Well, I don't want to spoil it because if this video comes out before Sean releases his, I'll just say this: we reviewed a beer from a brewery that when Sean went to this brewery, he didn't know that this beer tuber worked there, and bought a beer there, and it's been a few years. That's all I'll say. Make sure you check out the Nerd Sense guys. Watch the review when they do post. I'll talk to Sean, see when he's going to post this. But anyway, maybe I'll try to get them posted around the time I drop this video. And then we went outside, hung out, just to kind of be quiet for Cooper and my wife, who had gone to bed. So let's go outside, back porch, and just hang out. About 11, now I'm used to going to bed about 9:30 with Cooper because he gets me up so early. About 11, maybe 11:30, I'm like, I got to tap out. I'm like, this is very late for me. Let alone the drinking. I'm like, this is very late for me. I gotta go to bed. So I went to bed. Those guys stayed up till like 2 or 3. Chit chat. I can't do that. I'm too old. I get up too early with him every day. I knew he was gonna get me up early on Sunday, and he did, of course. So anyway, Sunday we wake up. We hang out at my house for a little bit. Sean and Mike head out first. Keith and I went to this awesome vegan donut shop we always go to when he's in town called Bitchin' Donuts. Had breakfast there. He got half a dozen donuts that he brought home. I just had a donut there in my breakfast. I think I had another coffee there. And then when we got back to my house, said our goodbyes. And it was just a great weekend. Had a lot of fun. It was nice that my friend Kevin happened to be here Thursday to Friday. So for me, I got to hang out with like a bunch of my friends in a super concentrated amount of time, which was rad. And just to tease the future a little bit, it was nice when we were hanging out with Jordan, because we got talking about this coming September, and I'm not the one organizing it, but there's going to be a decent amount of beer tubers in Albany in September. So get ready for some of your favorite people to be in the same spot. I'm sure there'll be a lot of videos and things being posted eventually after that, maybe even during that with live streams or whatever. But it's something I'm going to hop on as much as I can that weekend, or not hop on, be at as much as I can that weekend. But I'm not officially I'm not running it. But anyway, just to kind of bring in other beer tubers into the fold, since this was limited. But yeah. Super fun weekend. I hope that was interesting to listen to. And hope you guys have a good time. I just like interaction. Like, how you guys doing? How's things? Major life events? Anything, everything? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. There's no hype beer reviews about those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.